me show you how to make this simple, easy doily. It took me about an hour to do. Take any two colors you want. I'm using a burgundy and a light gray. Size 5mm hook. Okay, let's begin. To begin with, let's make a magic circle. So take your yarn and the front of it, the tail end, place it in the palm of your hand. Then take the yarn and wrap it around your two fingers, cross it in the back, and take this part and tuck it in like this. Take your crochet hook, insert it, remove your fingers, and now lift up the yarn, the one that's attached, and just let the tail go. Now pinch it here so you can pick up your yarn and it's not going to go anywhere. Then remove and repinch from the other hand. Then yarn over and just pull through, and that secures our magic ring. Now when you are crocheting, make sure you're always crocheting over both these, especially the which is called the tail end, because this way when we go to shut it, it's easy to pull. So now we're ready to begin. To begin our pattern, let's chain 2, 1, 2, and now we have to put 9 more double crochets in here. It's counting, we need 10, but our chain up always counts as 1. So 9 more double crochet. For those of you who don't know how to do a double crochet, you yarn over, insert it into our magic ring, yarn over, pull through, you should have 3 on, yarn over, pull through 2, you should have 2 on, yarn over, pull through 2. So that's the stitch we'll be using throughout this. When you're doing your double crochet into your magic circle, make sure you go over both the tail and this, because that's how we close it, by pulling the tail. So always over both. So that's 2, so keep it doing. So we have 8 more to do. So yarn over, insert over both, yarn over, pull through once, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. So keep doing that till you have a total of 10, including the chain 3 you did. Okay, so I did 10 into the magic ring. It looks something like this, and now it's time to close it. All you have to do is take this tail end and hold it and pull. So there you can see, it just pulled tight, and that's the beauty of a magic ring. So now if you count this, 1, 2, so at the very, on the second one V, there's our V, we want to yarn over and pull through, and that completes this circle. Now we're gonna just cut our yarn, and we're gonna fasten that off by yarning over and pulling through. And that's our middle part. Cut all your tails shorter. It's easier to work with. Okay, so now if you look, this is where we fastened off. So we want to put in a crochet stitch right into this V. Okay, so you got to look at your pinwheel. Okay, so you can see that the V's are right there. So there's the V. So kind of have to go under and over. There's the next V. Okay, so there's the next V. You can see you got to get your V. So this is where you want to be crocheting into. So the first one is kind of awkward because we used it up by space and it kind of curled under. So I want to get this part here and under there. That's why I want to insert my crochet hook. Now I'm going to take my gray. I'm going to pinch it. Insert my crochet hook. Yarn over and pull through. Like this. And now to secure it, I take the tail and the yarn together, and I yarn over and I pull through, and that fastens it. And then just make sure you tighten it, and now you can drop the tail, and we're going to weave all that stuff in later, and you can pick up your yarn. Now chain 2. So 1, 2. So now we're ready to begin. So into the same stitch, under same V, we're going to put in 1 more double crochet. So right in there. Oops, sure the tail's out of the way. Okay, so there's our first stitch. Now into the next one, we want to put another double crochet and 1 more. So under every V, you're putting in a double crochet twice. Okay, so I'm going to put 1 double crochet and 2 double crochet. So basically you're increasing, you're doubling everything. So this was 10 stitches, so now we're increasing it to 20. So keep doing that all the way around. I did my 10 stitches all the way around, so for a total of 20, because I doubled everything, and I'm going to slip stitch to join. So there was a previous red tail. Make sure you always put it behind. You must hold these things behind. If you count 1, 2 at the very top, under the V always is where you want to put in your slip stitch to join. Now ready for row number 3. So to do that, this is our fast enough. So right underneath, it's my space. So I want to put my crochet hook in there. I'm going to take my red, pinch off an eye, insert my crochet hook in there and pull it through, holding both ends tight. I'm doing the tail and the yarn. I'm going to yarn over both and pull through. That secures it. Now I'm going to let go of my tail and I'm going to pull the tail so it's tight. Now we're ready to crochet row number 3. Okay, so for this row, what we're doing is we're doing double crochet twice. So let's start by chaining 2. This will be 1, so we'll put 1 more directly into the same hole. Always make sure your tail's always behind. Okay, so I'm doing my double crochet, so this will count as my first stitch. And now I'm going to go once only into the next V. I'm going to double crochet once. Into the next V, I'm going to do double crochet twice. So that's once and that's twice. Now into the next V, I'm going to double crochet once, and into the following one I'm going to double crochet twice. So that is our pattern all the way around for a total of 30 stitch counts. So keep doing that and I'll see you. So I have my 1, 2, so that's 29. I need to put in 1 more single one, and it's right where this joint is. So we'll have to do 1 more, so you should end on a single under the V. So a single double crochet. All right, now we're slip stitching to join. So on top, so I count 1, and there's my first V. I can see it, it's right there on top of my stitch. And I'm just going to slip stitch to join. There we go. And that completes this row. I'm just going to cut my yarn. And yarn over and pull through. And now we start our clusters. So again, we look for where this is. So I'm going to go right and underneath there, into that space there. And I'm going to take my yarn and do the same thing, join them. So pinch a little eye in it, insert my crochet hook, pull through, hold both ends and pull through, and that secures it. So take the tail and pull, and then pick up my yarn, and I'm ready to crochet. So let's start by chaining 2, 1, 2. So into the same space, let's put another double crochet in. Okay, so that counts as a cluster, so 2. And now we're going to chain 1, and we're going to skip 1 and go into this one. So we're going to do 1 double crochet and another double crochet. Remember, we're doing into the V's. We're creating our nice little, so chain 1 and skip 1 and into the next one, put 2 double crochets. So that's going to be our pattern all the way around. Okay, so keep doing that. So chain 1, skip 1, and into the next one do 2 double crochets. All the way around. And you're creating nice clusters. All right, so I've come all the way around, and if you count your stitches, you should have exactly 15 clusters. And now because we're joining it, we have to do one more chain, and now we can slip stitch to join. So count 1, 2 at the very top of that first stitch under the V. You want to just insert your crochet hook, yarn over, and pull through to slip stitch to join. And now we're going to cut our yarn, and it's time to change. First we gotta hook it over on the crochet hook and pull through, and that secures this row. And now it's time to go in between. So look for that space underneath the first cluster, insert your crochet hook and pinch the yarn of the new color, which is our red, of course. It's such a nice beautiful contrast when we're doing this. So yarn over both ends, the tail and the yarn, and pull through, and that secures it. So just pull everything tight in the back, and then pick up your yarn and yarn over and chain 2. Okay, so now we want to put 2 more double crochets in there. The pattern calls for 3, but our chain 2 always counts as 1. So after putting in 2 more, we're ready to move on to the next cluster. So chain 1 always in between into the next space, put in 3 double crochets. 1, 2, and 3, and chain 1 and 3 clusters into the next space. So keep doing that all the way around. So I'm coming all the way around, but we have to do the, so if you do count your cluster, you should have exactly 15. So let's chain 1, because that's what we do in between clusters, and we're going to slip stitch to join at the top of the first stitch. So count them 1, 2. So right over there we slip stitch to join. Now we're going to cut our yarn and yarn over and pull through and tighten everything. So now we're going to insert a crochet hook into that space, because we want to go in between the clusters. But first pinch the new yarn, insert your crochet hook into the first space and hook it through and pull it. Grab both ends and yarn over and pull through. Take the tail in and tighten. We want to make sure that's nice and tight. Now pick up your yarn and you're ready to go. So chain 2. And now because that counts as the first stitch and the cluster before was 3, now we want to do clusters of 4. So that's cluster 1. So this is 2. And that's 3. We're putting our double crochets, of course. And 4. And chain 1. And now 4 double crochets. And that's our clusters. So 1, 2, and 3, and 4. Chain 1. And another cluster of 4. And chain 1 and a cluster of 4. So keep doing that all the way around. Alright, so I've come all the way around. I just have to do chain 1 to connect the clusters. 1, 2 at the top of the very first one is where I want to slip stitch to join. Now we're going to cut our yarn and yarn over with our hook and pull through, and that secures it. Now insert your crochet hook into the next space, and it's time to change our yarn just like we've been doing it. So pinch off a bit of the red, insert it, your crochet hook in there, yarn over, pull through, take both ends, yarn over, pull through, take the tail end, tighten it, and then pick up your yarn and you're ready to go. Chain 2. Now we're going to put 4 double crochets in there because the pattern calls for 5, but chain 2 counts as 1. So that would count as number 2 and 3 and 4 and 5. And we still chain 1 in between our clusters and then 5 into the next space. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 and chain 1 in between. Now we put another cluster of 5 there and there and there, and we keep doing that all the way around. So I've chained 1, and now I'm going to slip stitch to join at the very top of my stitch, and cut my yarn and yarn over and pull through to secure it. And that's it. Okay, so now that we're finished this, we gotta turn it around and deal with all these loose ends. All right, take your crochet hook and let's start. So first one, this one is gonna be tight, but you have all this red to go around. So with the smaller size hook, this is our little magic ring. I'm gonna shut it even more so it's tighter, and then I'm gonna go underneath here, but I don't want to go all the way through. If I go all the way through, you can see it on the other side. So I just kind of pick like 1 or 2 and go in between. Then I take this, hook it on and pull it through. The crochet hook in there, smaller one, and hook it and pull it. And that should tighten it. Yarn over and pull through. Just pull it and cut. So here's a good example how to weave in. Okay, so take a light size crochet hook, and you can either go through all 3 like this, then take your loose end and yarn over, and then you just pull it through. That is, I just go over like 2 or 3 like that, and then insert this through our loose end, and then I just pull it. Just pull it like that, tighten it, and then cut. And when you let go, you can't see it. And we're all done.